I was persuaded that it would be driven by the ideals and the values that the coalition stated as a hustler nation to do the best for the people of Kenya. One of the things we had accused the past regimes of was the existence of disappearances and extrajudicial killings of Kenyans, and we vowed that we would never, at our watch, condone or allow such. We stated this time and time again in the lead up to the last general election. Today, there has been a number of abductions and in some cases unexplained deaths since the Gen Z revolts of June last year. And it is unfortunate as most of the people being abducted and or killed are our youth, leaving the parents, relatives, and friends, other family members in a state of confusion and loss. I have personally served as my son was abducted and disappeared, and I was not sure whether he was alive or dead, making us anxious and leaving me and my wife and the rest of the family in turmoil. It must be remembered that at that time, I was the serving Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, and as is well known, a member of the National Security Council as comprised under Article 240 of the Constitution. Despite making several requests, I was unable to trace my son, and I made demands to all the levels of the security apparatus of the country. Now, more than 6 months later, after that ordeal and the release of my son by unknown forces, he has not been charged with any offense, and the government at all levels has not been able to give me any explanation or reasons as to his abduction by hooded armed gangsters. Ladies and gentlemen, I have taken this unusual, The security sector has said that they are not involved in the abductions, but interestingly, they have failed to stop them as they are happening in full public glare. The president has equally said that he would want to see the abductions end. Kenyans want to know how many of our youths have been taken in since the abduction started, how many have been released, how many are still being held, and where it is that they are being held. On Friday last week, to which the 3rd of January, at a funeral in Embu, I stated categorically that it was not possible for the government to say that they did not know anything about the abductions, because that amounts to shunning its responsibility on accountability. That is why I took the issue with a statement made by the Inspector General of Police that he did not know where the abductees are. In my view, the government cannot be excused for abdicating its duty of protecting the lives and property of the people of Kenya. I note that after my statement in Embu on Friday last week, a number of the youths that had been abducted and held in Communicado have been released. But from the reports that we see every day, there are still many that are still being held. The cardinal duty of the state and the government is to protect the lives and livelihood of its citizens and cannot claim to be unaware of such serious breaches of the rights of Kenyans to live free from wrongful confinement and the violation of their inalienable right to life. Therefore, the security forces should arrest and bring to book all those that are involved in the abductions without fail And all the young people being held in illegal captivity should immediately be freed.
5 or 6 into one, I have the people, we're able to work so that we can deliver. Now, a lot of what I proposed was not done. There is a lot of structural issues, many issues about, you're supposed to work, what happens, the issue of the working issues and other issues. In short, there's been a lot of frustrations, and I don't want my name. I have a history, I have a record where I've come from for the last 10, 20 years, where I've worked before in my county of Nakuru. What I've done, I don't want to come and mess it here because I got a job. If the work cannot be done, I don't want to be associated. Because what will happen, one day somebody will ask me, why didn't you deliver? Then I'll say, I had issues. They will ask me, why didn't you say then? Why now? Then something will happen, everybody will go. It will be said that the guy who is head of GDS is this one. I better speak early today to say, I don't think the kind of how the government tracking delivery work is being done is going to produce the results that we promised Kenyans. That is what I think. That's my thought. I have not thought about this today. This is something I've been thinking for the last 6 months. Giving advice, by the way. When I say consistently, I've met everybody else who is my senior to try to tell them how we are going to work. And since they announced my appointment in a big way, in a big rally where the president was, the then deputy president, everybody in Nakuru, and they said, we have given your somebody from your village here the work to help us as a country. I had to go back and tell the nation I am no longer there, so that nobody will stop me to ask me anything about this government. And if you try something genuinely, without the passion, it's not accepted, you don't fight. You just say, well, I'll just come in to help. If it's no longer possible, I'll just walk away. No, hakuna mabishano. There's no need of trouble. That's why I just said, it's okay. Wacha ifike mwisho. I've tried. It's not possible. But number 2, very importantly, it's not possible to do development in a toxic political environment. Let me say this again. It is not possible. Anytime development sees conflict, it runs away. Anytime development sees conflict, you can only do projects and program when people are at peace and they are appreciating. So when the political environment as it is today becomes so toxic, when people are standing leaders abusing other communities openly, when they are abusing other people, how do you take development to them as government? If today I go on radio or TV to begin talking about projects, the people are hurt because they were abused very badly. It cannot work. So either we decide that we suspend performance and delivery of government until after the elections,